And then I know some interesting other stuff, I guess, is like how music on campus is. I'm actually in the women's choir. Gonna air quote that. Let's see. So, like I said, I like presenting masculine or like androgynous or whatever, but I actually sing soprano. So that is really, it's not conflicting for me, I guess, because I've had such a positive like experience with people liking how my voice sounds. So it wasn't like ever super dysphoric or anything like that.
That's good.
And I have some other friends who kind of feel the same way. One of my pals is trans. I'm not really sure where they're at right now. But I remember like they have an amazing voice, and I'm just like, love it. But their voice sounds kind of stereotypically like feminine or poppy, and then when we get to talking, then it's like back to down low and like, non-gendered or anything like that. So that's another way we kind of express ourselves, like, and also like being confident in your voice, even though like male presenting or masculine, and then feminine voice is can kind of be hard. But yeah, so I like that.
That's really. Do you listen to a lot of like queer music on YouTube? Because I know like I have this huge playlist, and I love listening to as much queer music as I can possibly find.
I haven't been able to listen to much music recently. That's kind of, I'll like find an artist or an album and I'll just like binge listen to it.
Yeah.
But I don't really go out of my way to listen to more music. It just kind of happens. But yeah, and my music is like really diverse. So when I find out artists are queer or like part of the community or whatever, like it definitely gives me like a bump to like listen to these guys. They're awesome. And
right, because like there's just not enough out there yet. So I always think it's so cool when people are like making their own to add to the small mountain that's beginning to form of queer related music.
Yeah, that's pretty rad. And then being in the university choir. So I hope if you guys are lucky enough or feel safe enough to come out. When I first transferred here, it was before I identified as genderqueer. So we had to buy dresses for our choir, uniformity, etc. And so I was okay with wearing the dress for a bit. And then after the year was up, I started, working on myself, introspective stuff, coming out. I came out with my new name, Carson, which I love it because it's like neutral, and my old name was pretty feminine, so I'm like, that's not me. So like the first week of school, when I went back to choir, I got really nervous, and I went up to my director and I'm like, hey, is it okay if I could wear something else besides a dress? And he's like, oh, of course, wear blacks and it's fine. And I was like, so happy. So because he was like, yeah, it's not really required as long for any of our choirs, I guess, on university. If you don't identify with the dress code or whatever, like we do have alternatives. And so I've been wearing my nice black button down and stuff, and I just got a new blazer, and I wear bow ties, and it's so fun. So
that is so great.
Yeah, and it's pretty great though, because like I'm surrounded by women, so it's like, oh. And all my friends too. I have a lot of friends who are in choir, and a lot of them are either LGBTQ plus in general or an ally. So like I've never had really a problem with that. And it's also pretty cool, like, since I came out in choir, our director, if I'm like in a group or something that he's specifically talking about, I've seen him catch himself a couple of times saying, oh, you guys are doing great. So like he remembers that I'm a little different, and like that's really cool. So I don't know if that's on every campus. Sure it's not, but you never really know until you ask, and that's really cool that I have that support system. The genderqueer singing soprano. So
that is really cool, and I love it when professors are like actually able to try and understand and take your perspective into account, because like I know there's, you know, a lot of people have had problems with professors, but it is great to know like there are professors out there who are not as problematic and who will actually like you know, go out of their way to make you feel better, and not lump you in with everybody else of your assigned you know, sex.
yeah, and like another really good experience I had, even though it wasn't music related, like I was in a math class, I told my professor this, and she accidentally misgendered me. And then I got an email when I got home. I didn't even notice it, for one. Like, it was so quick or whatever. And then when I got home, I opened my emails, and it was a letter saying, I'm so sorry, I accidentally used the wrong pronouns. You know, I'm working on it. So I'm like, that just like really solidified like how awesome some professors can be. And I'm just like, wow, like, because some of us like aren't even super angsty about like accidentals, you know?
Yeah.
Like, I screw up on like your pronouns and they're the same as mine. So it's like, what are you doing, Carson? You like, I know it in my head, but it like word vomit.
Yeah.
And it's just like, wait, I just misgendered you. Stop.
It happens.
And so like, a lot of us are very understanding about that. So
Yeah.
it's pretty funny though. But like, yeah.
Yeah, it is. It's always really cool when somebody like realizes they messed up and they're like, "Oh, sorry," and they do the right thing. Like, it shows that they're really like trying and making progress. And even when they have made progress, like you say, you can just slip up. It's a thing that happens. So it's always just nice to be like, "Oh gosh, sorry."
Yeah.
This pronoun. You can go on with your sentence. Like,
Yeah.
it's really nice.
Yeah. Oh, I feel so bad because, like, so if I ever misgender you, I am so sorry. It was, I don't mean it. Like, I'm not, like, attacking you. It's just this going, I'm gonna screw up your stuff.
Even though we have the same pronouns.
Exactly. Like, I misgendered myself. I'm like, wait a minute. No, you're not. What am I? I am me.
Yes. Yes.
Yes.
Yeah. Awesome.
Yeah.
That was cool. So this is Carson, and I'm Zan, and I'll see you next Monday.